All right, let's see. Basically, the first sporting event has come back. We had the main event, which was Tony went and put in the work. He did his thing. He pretty much proved that he was a better fighter tonight. He had a great game plan. That was one thing I was kind of concerned about when it comes to Gaethje. Was he gonna like sit back, relax, and do a game plan, or was it, I believe he thrown Habib? He did his thing. He went out there. The first round was tricky. I thought Tony did quite enough. Did the first round. He straight up did his thing. Gaethje went out there, Justin Gaethje went out there and showed that he was the better fighter. Ferguson, like, he never had an answer for anything. Ferguson never really did anything in this fight. The biggest takeaway that you can take away from this fight when it comes to Ferguson, that he's tough. Because he was getting hit with shot after shot after shot from Gaethje, and he was taking it. He was taking it. He was taking ups in that first round. I think gave him that first round. After that, I poke him, but I don't think that's. I think this fight was going to go that way, even with or without that happening. Hello to everyone who is watching right now, and if you will, like, comment on the post, and let me know what do you think's gonna happen when when Habib Nurmagomedov fights Justin Gaethje. Because that's going to be really interesting because that's could you would hope becomes the first time in the UFC that we actually see Justin Gaethje's wrestling, because we hear all the time that Justin Gaethje has this great background in wrestling. He can do this, he can do that. Yeah, that was tough to watch, man. Tony just didn't have it, and it sucks because it looks like now we can pretty much say it. We're never gonna see Tony Ferguson versus Habib, and if we do eventually see Tony Ferguson versus Habib down the road somehow, you could tell that Tony is not the same fighter he was 2-3 years ago. But yeah, you gotta feel bad for Tony, man. Tony did his thing. He tried to keep these fights going and everything he could, and things just didn't match up. And that was the thing I was always concerned with Tony. Off fight after fight after fight, he kept accepting. I'm like, dude, you don't need to take any more fights. You've done what you needed to do. Sit out for Habib. And he didn't do that. He wanted to keep fighting. He kept fighting, and he eventually lost like tonight. And I hate that because Tony, I thought Ferguson was gonna beat him because I thought Ferguson was the better fighter. I do also wonder with him looking and not doing the way he did last month when he did that weight cut for no apparent reason, did that affect him tonight doing a weight cut again? How crazy this fight week was. I wonder, did that have something to do with how lackluster he looked tonight? But yeah, like you said, it was definitely hard to watch. Let me read your comment. You said the world is out there right now. You know how travel, once everything gets back and going normal again, you have to believe that's going to be the fight. Tony versus Connor or Nate Diaz. And winner of that fight, the winner of Gaethje and Habib. I only say Diaz because wow. Um, it's interesting what you do with Tony Ferguson next because I don't think he gets McGregor because I don't think McGregor would fight someone off of a loss, even with the resume of a Tony Ferguson. I think even though I don't think it's been officially reported yet. I think people are really starting Gregor at 170. That's going to be a fight. It looks like that they're going to make. And also with Nate, like he also wants to go to one. Maybe Tony goes to 170. It'll be an interesting fight to me to make. And I think it makes sense for both parties at this point. I mean, at this point, those are two of the top guys at 155. Said Diaz versus Tony would be insane for me. Oh yeah, now the fight, I definitely agree. Both in cardio, both have granite chins would be a complete war. I absolutely agree. The fight, if they were to book that, and if that's a fight that gets Diaz going, and and Tony has proven that he will take fights, that fight has that's potentially a huge and just great fight because the camps weight cuts and those two could really go at it and that would be a fun fight. Even the build up would be extremely fun as well. Seeing press conferences with Diaz and Ferguson, that would be awesome. But yeah, it was Habib versus Justin Gaethje. I'm gonna predict a new. Oh yeah, from a fan point of view, yeah, it would definitely be awesome. Those guys are great entertainers. They have a big fan base. Yeah, so you know they're gonna have pretty much any fight on the table. And if they can find out a way to get a Diaz brother back, you know they're gonna do it at this point. I was gonna say I believe in Justin Gaethje. Like I said this from the beginning. The two guys that I most capable of beating Habib because of both of their styles, but for two different reasons, were Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. I thought Ferguson has a, and he still has a great chance because of his ground game. I understand it, but his ground game, I think, is so good that he would have a great chance of beating Habib. If Habib was able to get a takedown, Tony could do some jiu-jitsu and get himself in a good spot to potentially tap him out. That could still happen. And from a striking situation, Habib is no match for Justin on the feet. Justin has the ability to finish anyone at any time, and Justin against Habib Nurmagomedov. And that's one of my plans to get ready for that fight. And I make you believe that Goodman can do some great things. Constantly in people's faces, grinding on them and getting them down. They can't take his pressure. So the pressure of Habib is what's dangerous, and I think Gaethje is the guy that's going to be able to take care of that. Henry Cejudo defeated Dominic Cruz. First off, I still say I don't truly understand why Dominic Cruz this title shot in the first place. Dominic Cruz last fought in 2016. He was when he lost the title to Cody Garbrandt. Before tonight, Ronda Rousey had fought in the UFC more often than Dominic Cruz had at this point. Even I know I'm being picky by saying that, but still, it's just the truth. Cruz gets injured a lot. He comes out, and yeah, I was interested how it first started. Cruz did what he normally does. He moves around. I love his movement. He was going back and forth doing his thing, and it's difficult to really get things going. And I thought that was going to happen when you look at the Mirage fight for Cejudo. Cejudo did not look good. It didn't do much in that first round. But that second round, when they were able to see how he was going to do, and they was able to make adjustments to Moraes, that's when you saw Cejudo take over in that fight. And that was the same thing that pretty much happened tonight. After that first round, they kind of saw what was going on. Cejudo was able to go in and do his thing, and he was able to stop Dominic Cruz. And after the fight, Cejudo says, "You know what? I done basically I did it all. I'm a triple champion. Peace. I'm gone. The UFC doesn't want to pay him. And like I got 2 belts, and I'm gone." I mean, what I wish. This is what I wish would happen is that between one championship and the UFC, look, man, they done did it before. They did that trade. They got to get in talks and figure something out for us to be able to get DJ versus Cejudo 3. That fight must happen. Both fighters have a victory against each other. I'm one of the ones that believe that DJ actually beat Cejudo in that second fight. Obviously, the judges thought something different, but I'm one of the ones who believe that DJ won that second fight. But we have to see that third fight, man. That's that's a money fight. And if they don't do that, I mean, you have Marias. He's still Aljamain Sterling deserves a chance. It's guys out there in that division that deserve a chance at a title. And Dominic Cruz. Actually, you know what I think next should be next for Dominic Cruz? 2 big names. You can have it as an event or a co-main event or a third fight on a card easily, or of a third fight on a pay-per-view easy. Even can do it as a co-main event if you do it correctly. If you promote it correctly, you can. That to me will save Aljamain Sterling, but I think Aljamain Sterling should get that next title shot. I know you got Jose Aldo out there, and I just don't understand that. Let Aldo get another victory. Or maybe if Cejudo actually is gone, you book Jose Aldo versus Aljamain Sterling for the title. How about that? But Cruz, hopefully he's able to bounce back and get him a fight soon and keep fighting, and we can get his career back going on a regular basis. In the third fight of the pay-per-view, we had Francis Ngannou defeat Jared. Wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but at the end of the day, he beat him in 20 seconds. Francis Ngannou gave that pop person to deal with because of that power. He's never out of a fight, and he has a and he's a heavy. So he has potentially, if he keeps staying together, a good 7 to 8 years left in that division to be forced with. And like I said, he's only getting better with time. He's has to. It's no telling what's going to happen in that division. The division is weird. You have Stipe 3, but you have Francis out there. What I think is going to happen, I think we might end up seeing DC versus Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight championship, and they just strip it from Stipe. That's what I think is going to happen. And then talk about the second fighter not here, and that was pretty much was the. It was a close fight. Anthony Pettis was able to get the decision in that fight, so he is up 2 fights to none against Cowboy. You have to look at now with Cowboy. What do you do next with Cowboy? He's keep getting these losses. He's fighting a lot, but he keeps getting these losses. He needs to get him a couple of victories to really keep his name out there. That was a big victory for Anthony Pettis. Anthony's always going to have these kicks out here. I wasn't overly impressed with this. Pettis has been very hit that caller won that fight. So I was happy with the decision. That was a pretty good even fight. I like both fighters. I didn't like how the commentary, especially in the beginning of the fight, was really down on Carla, man. They were like basically making it seem like she wasn't that good of a fighter. Like she was only the champion because that was the beginning of the division. Everybody has much now since back then. Really discrediting everybody. Big fan of people hyping somebody else up by discrediting other people. If you great, you great, man. I don't have to talk bad about somebody else to make you be great. And that's pretty much gonna do it for me. I went over the UFC 249 main card. I talked about, a couple other fights on the prelim. Got to really hear a lot tonight, the corners and everything. It was it was really good. It was a good experience. I mean, I feel like we need the sports right night tonight, and we was able to get that. I mean, before I go, I have to talk about, man. I'm still surprised that this fight card went on because the Jacare Souza and his a couple of his corner guys ended up testing positive for COVID-19. You had to think, oh man, they gonna cancel this card. And obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with Jacare and his team. Hopefully, they'll be okay. But you had to think, oh man, this card ain't gonna happen now. There's no way they're gonna do this. But they were like, no, Dana and the UFC was like, this is the reason why we doing these tests like this to make sure if this happens, we can take care of it. And they were like, nah, we did our job. This is what we wanted. If somebody was gonna test positive, we could take care of them and do this, and that. And that's what they did. And they took care of that situation. And